Yes, yes. Hope you're blessed. I'm excited about this one. This is all about time, and time is different for all of us, especially if you're a parent. Productivity gurus and people I watch and try and understand about productivity is talked about in a very linear sense. It's around, oh, how can I get more done and being efficient? And actually, time is different for all of us. I would love to say that I can get this much done in a day, but actually, as a parent, the reality of it is kids slow us down, and I have learnt to be flexible with that. I've had a plan. I want to do so much, and then the morning begins and it all falls apart because kids are slow. But maybe we can learn something from them. As adults, we try and be as busy and productive as we can, always on the go, always moving quick, always trying to get more done. And as parents, I find us trying to tell the kids, hurry up, hurry up, hurry, we've got to get here, there, and everywhere. And sometimes kids just slowing down and us slowing down our pace of life can be just what we need. But in that, how can we be present? How can we actually have more time? So there's two things I'm going to go through. One, as a parent, as a dad, and as somebody who tries to get so much done but still slow down when I'm present with the kids, how do I get all the stuff done? Some of the stuff that I genuinely struggle with and I'm still trying to master and get better at. And the second part is actually how I've completely reshaped my calendar to actually get more time, like literally get more time. So I'm going to go through the agenda. We're going to check in 3 questions: past, present, future. Then the first thing is looking at our diary and actually making sure that's set up in a best way for you. Um, Past time, what are you done to actually get to this point? Where's your time going? Let's look at that. Then current spending, right? What are you doing now? What do you want to do now? And then let's map that out going forward. Actually, where do you want your future time to go and that future time investment? Then that's when I'll talk about the current calendar that we are set up as generally. So the Gregorian calendar is what it's called. And then I'll look at I am time. And that's me, my time, and how I completely reshape the calendar and how you can do exactly that to get more time out of your week, out of your month, out of your year. It will give you a massive edge by not doing too much in terms of reshaping, but that key shift will give you maybe the time that you've been looking for. Finally, I'll go through 7 tools in a quick fire sense that you can use at your disposal to gain more time, plan, and just figure out how you can actually get more done without feeling overwhelmed, burnt out, and like you're always on the go, like you're always busy, but not necessarily productive. Finally, I want to challenge all of us, myself included, to set a goal for ourselves over the next week. Watching this video is great. The purpose of this is really to shape behavioral change. If you watch this video and do nothing differently, I personally have failed in some sort of a goal. I want you to make one small change in commitment to yourself in the future to help make your time and your week that little bit better. So we'll look at that right at the end that you can and I will commit to together. Check in. We'll look at past, present, future. So in the past, what have you achieved in the last week that you're proud of? As small or as big as you can think of, but something that you've done in the last week that you can remember and actually pat yourself on the back for. Second thing, how you feeling at the moment? How you feeling right now? And not just okay, good or fine. Like how are you actually feeling? Check in with yourself, and then we'll look at going forward. What's something you're looking forward to in the next week? I'll share my 3 things. So, what I've achieved in the last week is I've managed to stay cool. It's been really hot in the UK, and I've managed to move a few things around, get a fan, and get the kids out in the paddling pool and just stay cool as possible. So, enjoying the sun, utilizing the sunny weather that we don't get too often, and keeping the family cool. Sleeping downstairs in the living room has been something that we've done, which has been actually quite nice. How I'm feeling Today, this evening is completely different to this morning. So I'll share that journey. This morning I was frustrated, fully frustrated. I had a few things and bits that came my way, a couple of emails, the kids not behaving, just me not making as much progression with the YouTube consistency that I want to in terms of making videos and live streams. And just, I know consistency is gonna help me get better growth, but I haven't been as consistent as I want, and that was frustrating. So I was annoyed this morning, but I made a plan of action. That plan of action has gone quite well actually, and I've achieved quite a lot today. And in talking to you now, like actually streaming, I feel blessed. I feel like actually, do you know what? As much as I was annoyed, and I still I'm not fully like past that feeling. I've had a productive day, and that's what I'm talking about. Like even if I'm feeling not great, is it productive, or am I just busy? Am I just running around like a headless chicken, or am I actually going in a direction? And if I repeat the things that I did today, would that get me close to my goals? My answer would be yes for today. So actually, I'm feeling all right. Something I'm looking forward to in the next week. I've actually got a trip planned tomorrow with my son, going out and about for a day trip, and I'm showing him Birmingham city centre. So I'm excited. I still have a few things to prep and pack after this stream and a few things in the morning, but I'm excited and looking forward to that. So just check in with yourself. What's one thing that you've achieved in the last week? How are you feeling? And what is something that you're looking forward to in the next week? The first thing I'm talking about in terms of time management is put it in the diary. I have a philosophy: if it isn't written down, it will be forgotten. And that has been proven with many an experiment. So much research has backed that actually, if we write down, especially our goals, we are 42% more likely to achieve a goal just by writing it down. If you do no more than, this is what I want to do, let me write it down somewhere, you're more likely to do it. And that philosophy for me transfers into the diary. Like if it doesn't make it into the diary, it doesn't get done. So the first thing is, have you got an allocated time slot for it? And be sort of kind to yourself. If you think something's going to take you an hour, allocate an hour and a half. There's some procrastination time in there. There's some time for unaccounted for stuff. There's a time for a little break in there, to be fair. But if you can account for a little bit more time with luxury, then you can get more done and you're more likely to get the thing done, especially when I'm talking about getting kids ready. If you need to leave for school and it takes you an hour to get ready, well, you need to allocate an hour and a half. I should wake up earlier to get the kids ready without having to rush out the door. Now, me saying that and taking the advice, split road, but that's the philosophy by actually, is it in the diary? Have I got the time there to put to do the thing? And not just the day-to-day stuff, the thankless tasks, but the stuff you want to do. I've learned to be more flexible now. So like if it's in the diary and it doesn't get done, I'll move it. But it's there, it's that time slot, it pops up in my calendar. You were supposed to live stream for an hour this evening. Okay, look, I'm tired. It's been a long day. My energy is going to be off on camera. Let me move it to tomorrow. But that hour has to be physically moved in the calendar, but it's still there. Put it in the diary. That will be my sort of big first bit of advice around actually time management and trying to make sure you get your things done. Yes, we've got a to-do list and whack it all down. I will put what I need to do, generally how long I think it will take me. I'm off with some things, but I'll give an estimate based on my experience. And then I'll put all of those things in the diary for the next week, for the next 2 weeks, and then move stuff around, put it in the diary. If it isn't written down, it will likely be forgotten. Okay, that's my first thing. The second thing is pastime. So we're looking at what have you been doing with your pastime? Okay, so in a week, there are 168 hours. In that 168-hour week, what are you allocating it for? Literally, break it down. First of all, did you know there were 168 hours in a week? Most people know there's 24 hours in a day. There's 168 hours in a week. Where's it going? You can take away sort of sleep. You can take away food prep time, you can take away certain things that are definitely there, showering, going to the toilet. Those things take up certain percentage of time. So that 168-hour week isn't full of productivity. Look at that. And it doesn't have to be solid, but just figure out, all right, where am I losing time? What is time that is wasted? And what is time that I could reshape? It just highlights to you actually, am I spending more time doing stuff that I didn't think or I don't want to do? Am I wasting time? Commuting is arguably a wasted time, but actually we can make use of it. We can listen to podcasts, we can make phone calls, we can do other things on a commute that can help us be productive, but still actually not just have dead time between A to B. Look at that and look at your dead space time. So um, I take the kids to some clubs and I see so many parents drop their kids off to whatever sort of club it is. The kids go off for half an hour session, and the parents are just there scrolling. That's time that we could be doing, something productive. I do see some parents reading. I do see some parents with their laptops and doing work. Figure that out. But that's a look at your 168-hour week. Where is your time going? Understand where the wastage is and then how you can recoup some of that. Not just being productive, something that I've struggled with, and I still do, to be fair, is in that time, how can I have downtime? How can I chill? I find like I want to do so much. When I'm chilling, I feel guilty for chilling. Like I need to be on it. But when I'm on it, I'm burning out. I feel like I need to rest. So I struggle with the balance of actually, when I rest, I need to rest and not feel guilty. So I need to learn and get better at that. When I'm productive, I need to have my head in focus mode and actually not be thinking I'm burnt out. I just need to rest. And sometimes realizing actually this is not the right time to do that task. Let me reallocate it and I actually need to rest. I've done that some days where it's hit 10 o'clock at night. I want to do so much more and I hold my hand up. I'm waving the white flag. I'm like, look, I'll give up. I'm done. I'm done. The kids have beat me. I'm so drained physically and mentally, and I'm tired. I haven't got the capacity for what I need to do. I'm just going to sleep it off. And that might be the reality for us at times, but learning about what that is for you is important. So where does your time go? Where does it need to go? Is it going in the right place? Is it wasted? Can you change it? And that's a reality check that hits home when you actually do this exercise and see, where is my time going? I'll get this printout somewhere, and when I do, I'll put a link in the description so you can actually map that out for yourself. I would encourage you to do it on pen and paper. A lost art, but I'm very much pen and paper. I scribble stuff down, move it to electronic formats just for better keeping and sort of finding in the future. But pen and paper is a proven way. Like I said, put it in the diary. If it's not written down, then it's likely to be forgotten. Okay, then let's look at time allocation. Now, I like this. This is something that when I'm doing face-to-face sessions and when I'm in a room with people, I do physically. So I like to look at 10 pockets, 10 categories of life as a dad, as a working parent, as sort of juggling all the stuff. This is the stuff that I have in my priorities. So family, fun, I call it fun, social time really, and downtime, whatever it might be. Giving back, content creation and making these videos a part of that. Health, home, personal development. So health is gym, eating healthy, sleep even, I guess. Home, that takes up a lot of the time. Personal development, reading and such. Relationships, time with my wife. Spirituality, religion, mindfulness. Wealth, financial budgeting, actually looking at where my money is coming in, going out, spending, savings, such. And work. How's my work going? How's my career? What's that looking like? Now, if I have a cup of water, which is finite, and I pour all my time into family, that's great, but then I have very little left for the other categories. So think of your time allocation as, if I have a glass that I'm pouring into time, where is the majority of it going? And if I'm pouring the majority of it in a certain category, let's say all my time's going into work, do I have enough left for family and such? And that's what really this exercise like hits home. And there's two ways of doing it. So looking at your current time spend, where's the majority of that going? And when you realize actually I'm pouring all of my time and energy into a category that I didn't realize, and then having a little bit left liquid left in the cup, where do I spread it? I want to put my time into everything, but I say to my daughter, we can do anything. You can do anything, but you can't do everything. So pick your thing, pick your things. There are a few things we can do. You can do anything, but you can't do everything. So trying to balance that and do everything is a surefire way to get burnt out and overwhelmed. And yeah, parents, dads, you'll relate to this, where we're pulled in all different directions and often don't shout out about it. We just try and handle it. Asking for help is really useful, getting support, and that support mechanism, outsourcing. So saying, look, can you help me with this and that? I need this done. Can somebody else do this for me? Thinking about those practical solutions and ways to multiply your time without you having to do the thing are valuable. So if you're pouring your time into something, understand where that's going, but then also do it again in terms of where would you like your time to go? If you want to equal it out, you can do, but then go back to that 168 hour week and split that time between all these categories. There is surefire to be an imbalance. Typically, if things are going well in my personal life, work is suffering. If work is going well, then maybe my health is suffering. And there's always something that is gonna suffer, but it's that trade-off. And what's that trade-off for you, right? Like, what are you willing to sacrifice? And sacrifice is a great word. What are you willing to sacrifice for a win now or a later delayed gratification? What are you willing to do now and sacrifice in the short term for the long-term gain? That's an important question to ask yourself. All right, so let's look at the calendar that I mentioned. So this is really where the thumbnail and the title speaks to this exact piece. So there's the Gregorian calendar, which is I think it's a Christian calendar, but it's what we use in modern day. It's the 365 days. Every 4 years you have a leap year, January to December. Most people know it. I'm going to assume you do. If not, then the whole video is lost on you. Okay, so we set up our time like this, our calendar typically, and it doesn't work. It annoys me because the first isn't always a Monday. Months are different lengths, 30, 31 days, 28, 29 days, and it just frustrates me that I can't compare a month like for like because it's just not the same. There's not the same amount of Saturdays and Sundays. There's not the same amount of days. They don't all start on the same day, and some people start their calendar on a Sunday, some on a Monday, and it just messes with my way of working. I am proposing you change your calendar to a 28-day calendar, which syncs nicely with time. So on this side, we have a 28-day calendar. Always starts on a Monday, Monday being the first of the month. 28 days fits perfectly into 365 days, 364 days. So you get 13 months. So you get an extra month by having 28-day months. What we name them is, I just call them a month, right? It's month 1, month 2. You can make up names later, but work with me here. With 28 days, you get 7 cycles of 4 days, or you get 4 7-day weeks. The reason I talk about the 7 cycles of 4 days is because I do a 4-day split in terms of working out. So I do push, pull, legs, rest. That's my 4-day split. So pushing is tricep and chest, pull is back and biceps, legs is legs, and then I rest. And sometimes do abs and shoulders, bit of cardio, but that's my 4-day cycle. On a normal month, using the Gregorian calendar, this side, it's mashup, and push days and always the same day and whatnot. Whereas if I do it with my 28-day cycle, I get 7 rounds or 7 cycles of push, pull, leg split. And that allows me to compare 28 days to 28 days, and I can sort of change that cycle every month if I want to. Also, every month is 4 weeks, Monday to Sunday, 4 straight weeks, and I can change up what I do every 4 weeks. I can review my life every 4 weeks. I can do an IAM model every 4 weeks. I do it every week, but every 4 weeks I can do a sort of a trend cycle, but it just makes sense. Plus, I get an extra month. So if you want more time, I'm proposing we completely change the Gregorian calendar to a 28-day calendar, and we get 13 months. We get an extra month. Now, if we can incorporate this into the working world, we can get paid an extra month if you're on a salary. So that's my proposal. That's how I get more time personally. The current world and ecosystem, the economy doesn't work that way, but it should. It should. And I want to. I run like this so that I get an extra month in the year personally, but I want this to be widely promoted so that actually makes sense. Just make it make sense. All right, enough ranting about calendars. Okay, so I'm going to talk about 7 tools. 21 minutes into this video, I'm going to talk quickly about 7 tools that you can use to get you more time. Time blocking. So similar to what I said earlier, put it in the calendar, allocate a time for what you want. And just like music, your calendar should have a rhythm. I love, in my work, we called it an operating rhythm. What's the rhythm? What are we doing on a Monday morning? What are we doing on a Wednesday afternoon? What can you do on a weekly basis that just has that rhythm? Typically, if you go to a gym class, if your kids have, some outside and extracurricular activities, they're on the same time, same day, same slot every week. What can you put yourself into your calendar that's the same time every week, same day every week, and that gives you a nice rhythm? You know, Monday morning, this is what I got going on, and play to your strengths. Like if the mornings are better for you, pack your calendar. If the mornings aren't great, then try and reshuffle things around. So if you're an evening person, put stuff in the evening, whatever works for you. Like, you got to be innovative about your time and know when your best work is, but get it in. Time blocking is allocating that time and getting that rhythm in. So whatever that work looks like for you, get that rhythm in, get that block in, and it can move. Be flexible. I've very much learnt to be more flexible, because historically, if I had something in the calendar, didn't get it done during that time slot, I'd be pissed. I'd be annoyed, and that frustration my wife felt, because she could see that, look, I had this morning allocated for this job, I didn't get it done. Now I'm just annoyed, but I'm a bit more relaxed that actually, okay, cool. Look, we've got a young family. Things aren't exactly robotically scheduled and gonna happen as per my plan. Let's just figure out when I can get it done next. And what I'm doing now is important. So let me be present. Let me be in the moment and just be happy I'm here, rather than be annoyed that I'm not getting the thing done, because all that's going to do is frustrate everyone around me, get me annoyed, and that just is a downward spiral. So flexibility with the time blocking is definitely something I've learned, a mistake I've made, and I'm working on. The next one is called Pomodoro, 25-minute timer. We set a timer for 25 minutes, work for that period of time, have a 5-minute break, and do that in cycles. It's sort of got its research-backed evidence to work in that time sort of efficiency period, and then have that break. It's important to have that break. Sometimes we can be back to back to back to back, like from work mode to dad mode to husband mode to gym mode to just sleep, and then back to work mode again, and it can be a hamster wheel. So finding small slots to have a little break between that will actually increase your efficiency. Working solid, although you don't have the breaks, because you're constantly thinking about stuff and your brain and your cogs are spinning, you haven't got time to just reflect and think straight. You're thinking, but things can be mash up. So having that break is key. One thing I've done is I've actually set meetings at 05, and that's something that you can try, because typically if between 12 and 1 someone has a meeting and you set a meeting from 1 till 2, well, they're going to be jumping from meeting to meeting. If you set it at 1:05, hopefully you're giving somebody that 5 minutes, and put it in the meeting invite. I've set this at 1:05 to 2 p.m. to allocate and allow for 5 minutes of getting a coffee, getting a tea, stretching your legs between what you might have ending at 1 o'clock. Actually, acknowledge that's why you've done it that way, and people hopefully will appreciate it. It's worked well for me. It's given me that 5 minutes to grab a cuppa, but Pomodoro is 25 minutes, 5 minute break, and repeating that in cycles. It says kind of Pomodoro wise, after 4 cycles, take a 15 to 30 minute break. You can do 50 minutes of work and 10-minute breaks, but the Pomodoro officially is 25 minutes of work, 5-minute break. Use that as you need to. That's number 2. Third one is Kanban. I love Kanban. So this is more project managing stuff, looking at your to-do list, then moving it to work in progress, and then trying to get it down the line to done. I've done this in a slightly different way at home. I got a big roll of paper, massive roll of paper. It was actually like a pull down sheet on an easel that I've got for the kids, rolled it across the floor, and me and my wife wrote in Sharpies on Post-its what we wanted to do over that period of time. And this is before my third was born. So we were getting baby prep ready. We had a month, so we literally laid out a month in advance everything that we needed to get ready, to get down from the loft, clean, clothes ready. The baby prep is, I'm not going to go through all that, but we put what we wanted to do and how long we thought we would need. So we put morning, afternoon, and evening on a Post-it note. Then and we just put all the stuff down random order, and then we put the Post-it notes in at a time slot. We time blocked, and that allowed us to visually see where we are. Are we on track? Kanban basically moves your to-do list into a work in progress. Have you started the thing? Is it on your to-do list? Is it just an idea? Have you started to take action on it? Because some things don't get done straight away. And if it's a longer term thing, put it in the work in progress, great. And then you want to move it down the line, basically. That's Kanban. It's a Japanese productivity term, and it's used across sort of mainly the corporate scene, but I love sort of Kanban and terms like that from Japanese culture. Ikigai, Hari Hachibu, but Kanban is the productivity Japanese sort of technique. The next one is looking at your ideal week, mapping out on one side the start of your day. So I've put here 6 a.m. all the way down to 10 p.m. Monday to Sunday, and what would your ideal week look like? What would you be doing at Monday 6 a.m.? Would you be going for a run? Would you be sleeping? And factor that into the reality of the situation, right? But like, what does your ideal week look like? Benchmark that against what you're currently doing, smash the two together and see how close you can get to your ideal week. Look, it's not going to be 100, right? But that's just figuring out, all right, what's perfect, and how can I get closer to perfect? How can I get better? How can I do a few things differently to just aspire to that ideal week? But that's a really nice exercise to help you realize this is what I want to do with my time, and then figuring out a way to do it. The next one is Eisenhower. It's a matrix. So from the book 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey, there is the 4 quadrants. So it's on a axis of importance. So you would do the things that are more important first, and an urgency axis as well. So the things that are urgent and important, do them first, right? It's important that you go to the gym. It's not important, but it's not urgent unless you're at a health crisis that you actually need to look after your health and make sure you do something that doesn't jeopardize where you're at. So if it's important and urgent, I like to use the reference of a fire. A fire is important and it's urgent, can't be left till tomorrow, do it now. Then you've got something that's important but not urgent, like revising for a test. Schedule it. Most things should fit in this category, quadrant 2. So most things should be in the diary, in the schedule. If it moves into the important and urgent, it means you didn't do it when you should have. So revising for a test is important but not urgent, unless the test is in an hour. Then it becomes urgent and important. So get revising as much as you can is sort of the reference I have. Then you've got the bottom section, which is it's not important, but it's urgent. So this is when people come to you for stuff like a phone call. You don't know if a phone call's important or not necessarily, but it's urgent because you got to pick it up. So if you can delegate that, or if there's certain things that um, you want to do, you need to get done, but it doesn't have to be you who does it. Try and find ways to outsource it. Finally, the things that are not important and not urgent, that's a procrastination box straight. So try and get rid of it. Try and do less of it. If you want that, those are the typical things that we want to do: the watching the film, the scrolling, the just, just sitting down doing not much, but try and eliminate that, or make that the last thing you do, and you've tackled the other stuff and you've prioritized that. Balance the time, right? You got we're really this. I'm not working with ideal lifestyles here. I'm working with realistic lifestyles. So if you want to do some of that, then factor that in. Know how you operate. If you're going to procrastinate, then a technique that you can do is just write one line. Just do it for 1 minute. So if you're going to exercise, all you need to do is exercise for 5 minutes. If all you do is exercise for 5 minutes and stop, you can tick that box, you've achieved your goal. The reason that's so smart and it works is because once the hardest thing is starting, once you start, often that 5 minutes turns into a full workout. Once you have a goal of writing one line, if your goal is writing, or let's say reading, your goal is reading a book, you read one line, that's it. You one sentence and then stop. If you read one sentence, put the book down, you've achieved your goal for the day. That's a win. But typically what happens is if you read one line, one sentence, you'd carry on, and you kind of, the hardest thing is picking up the book and starting. So making things short, small, and actually ridiculously small, that actually it's not even going to have a massive impact. If you just read one sentence a day, take you a while to get through a book. If you work out 5 minutes a day, actually you're not going to necessarily get healthier, but that's the start, and it allows you to gain momentum. Momentum is massive, right? Like once a train is moving, trying to stop a moving train that has momentum is hard. If a train is stationary, trying to get it to just move that little bit and gain that momentum, it's that start, stop is tough. So that's where momentum and consistency just really help you just gain traction. So this is the Eisenhower matrix. If it's important and urgent, do it now. If it's important but not urgent, schedule it. If it's not important but it is urgent, delegate it. And if it's not important, not urgent, sack it off, eliminate it. There's a book by Cal Newport called Deep Work. And if you've ever been doing an activity and you've lost track of time, that's called a state of flow. A state of flow is when you're so engrossed in an activity, you forget about time. Think about the last time you were in a state of flow. There are two pots of concentration that takes up our time and our energy. One is called deep work, one is called shallow work. Deep work are things like coding, programming, writing a report, generally writing, editing, focus tasks. If you're putting together a dashboard, an Excel, working on a project, that is deep work. That requires concentration, focus, no distractions, and you to be fully head in the game. Leave me alone, sort of do not disturb mode. We are in a culture where shallow work is sometimes seen as more active, but day to day you can be busy doing shallow work, but feel like you've got nowhere. The productivity lies in deep work, where you only did one task, but you made progress, genuine progress. Shallow work is stuff like emails, messaging, meeting, answering calls, social media. It can constantly grab our attention, and we can always be available and active on messaging, on emails, on sort of those types of platforms. But at the end of the day, yeah, you might have messaged and contacted a lot of people and got through a lot of emails, but was it a productive day? Or are you just drained because actually you didn't really get much done for yourself and towards your goals? That's the difference between deep work and shallow work. Find a balance of both. Set parameters and give yourself permission to do deep work. If you're required to be available, on messaging platforms, on email. Be honest with the people around you and set that communication up and say, look, this morning until this time, I'm not going to be available. I'm not going to be checking my emails or messages because I'm on a particular project. I'll respond to any emails and messages after that time. But until then, please, I'll be on do not disturb mode. You can contact this person in my absence, or please kindly wait for me to return for a reply. Set that up. Be open with the people around you and communicate that, and it allows you to have the space. And if you can set yourself ideally in the right environment to do the deep work, go for it. That can get you in a state of flow. Find yourself to get in a state of flow, get your deep work done. And I don't like shallow work. I will minimize that where I can, but in today's society, there's a requirement for shallow work. So trying to get that balance of deep and shallow is something I learned from the book Deep Work by Cal Newport. Read it if you want, but that's kind of synopsis, I suppose. But the balance of deep work and shallow work. And the final thing is did we check in? Yes. Did we talk about putting stuff in the diary? Yes. Did we talk about pastime and looking at our 168-hour week? Yep. Current time and pouring our time into certain test tubes, cups, allocation time? Yep. Future time investment, actually looking at where that's going? Yep. Gregorian calendar and the 12-month calendar that we currently have? Yep. I am time, the 28-day calendar month that I'm talking about, that I use, and I really want to try and get everyone else to use, which gives us 13 months in a year. Talked about that. And tools, the 7 tools. Yes, the last one being the to-do list, the physical to-do list, which I've just ticked. And the last one I haven't ticked, which is I want to, before looking at next week's goals, talk about parenting and how time is completely different as a parent. And I mentioned at the start that kids do things a lot slower. That is our space to build patience, to actually slow down our pace of life. And it can be so hard because it can be frustrating that we have time commitments. We have to get kids to school on time. We need to get to work. We need to get to a event on time, and trying to run around and do all that without feeling hot and bothered ourselves, not get our clothes messy, feed them, pack the right stuff, not forget anything, and get out the door without shouting at the kids is hard. Slow down. Be patient with the kids because this is their upbringing. They don't know what time allocation is. We do. So we're getting ourselves worked up and we're getting the kids panicked for free. So what if you're late? Now, if you're late on a regular basis, then look at actually setting yourself up earlier, prepping stuff the night before. And I'm talking about this stuff, trying to do it myself, but I'm not 100% there either. It's about, can you be better? Can you be more patient with the kids? Can you do things slightly different? And you're going to have to figure that out. I have put a clock with visuals together. Didn't work. It actually worked as a hindrance because my daughter just panicked herself because she wasn't on time for stuff. Then we set timers and that panicked her still. Now, if we're late, we're late. I will try and build as much time as I can in the day and do as much as I can myself. So if the kids need stuff prepped, like their water bottles, can I do that? Can I get it by the door? Can I get their shoes lined up left to right in the porch so that when they go into the porch, they just put the shoes on and they're out the door? It's more work for me, but it helps. All those little bits, every little bit helps, as Tesco would say. So can you do little bits here and there to just forgive yourself or be patient with the kids? Because I find I'm always rushing here and there, and then I just need a moment. And that crash is a scroll, that crash is, it's late, I need to get into bed, I just want to lie down and sleep. And that's a cycle that I'm trying to avoid, I want to get away from. So if we can slow down in our day and be more patient with the kids, I think that's probably a better way to live, to be honest. I think we've gone too quick. We're trying to do too much. Think about, are you being busy but not necessarily productive? And think about how we can be productive without feeling busy. It's that feeling. I want to feel like I'm on top of life, but it's not overwhelming me, and the responsibilities aren't making me feel like I'm pulled in so many different directions. Jim Rohn says, wherever you are, be there. When you're at work, are you thinking about, I just want to get home, I just want to get home? When you're at home, are you thinking about, I just need to finish off that work, I just need to do that work? Because that actually means you're not fully present. So how can we be more present, and how can you be a little bit more precious with your time? How can you allocate that in the right places for you and support what you want with your time, and actually build the life that you want with the time that you're using? Are you building the right habits, spending the right time on the things that are going to get you closer to a better life for you? That's what really I want to help you with, and I'm trying to do myself. Reshape some of the habits, the time allocation, and if we can do this, chip away, just chip away day to day. It's hard to see progress. There might not be any, but over time, if we know doing these things are going to get us closer to where we want to be, just keep going, just keep chipping away. And eventually, when you start to see progress, still keep going. If you see no progress, still keep going. If you know that's the right direction for you, tweak things along the way, learn things along the way, be kind to yourself and the people around you, nurture your environment and shape that to give you the most out of what you can in terms of not wasting time, being more efficient, learning about that stuff. Simply watching this video can be a step to actually being more productive, more efficient, gaining more time. I hope some of the stuff has helped, and if so, please leave a comment below, because that's why I do this. If you have any time management techniques that I haven't talked about that work for you and that you're aware of, again, share them in the comments below. And then if I if I do make another video about general time management, then I would love to add those in after learning about them and use them in my own life. Right? This space isn't just for me. These videos aren't just for me to share the stuff that helps me, but actually I want to learn from some of the stuff that other people are doing to help me get better with my own time management. Read more books, learn from other people, try new things, and we can get better together. It's a collective thing. I want to build that community, and I want us to learn from each other. That's what it should be. It shouldn't be a one-way street. It should be all right, how can we do this together? How can we add value to each other's lives? And it's sort of my ethos with the whole YouTube channel. I'm Rav, and I want to ask each of us to commit to one thing. So in the next week, I want you to allocate at least 1 hour minimum for one thing. One thing that you can do differently, whether that's working out, whether that's switching tech off, whether that's going for a walk, whatever your primary goal is, whatever that thing is for you that you're not doing that you want to do, schedule at least 1 hour in the next week. Put it in your phone reminder, your Google Calendar, your iCalendar, whatever, your iPhone calendar, whatever it is. Make sure it pops up as a reminder that you have allocated that 1 hour within the next week for the thing, because it will remind you and you can hopefully do it in that time. If not, move it, but make sure you schedule that 1 hour. So that's what I want you to do in the next week, to just promise to yourself that you're going to commit an hour to the thing, because that 1 hour will get you one step closer to what you want to do. What you can do to help me, other than watching this video, is subscribe. That's really what I'm trying to grow, promote, and be part of the community of people of like-minded nature that want to get better. And yeah, for another day, I'm Life Coach Rav. Peace out. Bless. It's a late evening. It is 11:30. I have a little bit of lunch prep to do, so I'm going to do that, and then by 11:40, 11:45, I'm hopefully going to hit the sack. That's my productive day done. It's been a solid one. I'm looking forward to the next.